celebrate our current team president, Diane Mendenhall. Starting off at the stage, we have a co-owner, Kirk Thompson, now co-owner and president Diane Mendenhall, and co-owner and general manager John Cook. We will start with opening statements from all three, starting with Kirk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this historic day for the Omaha Supernovas. I want to start by going back 3 years from now. Alongside Danny White and Jason Derulo, we had, at the time, barely secured a name, an arena, or any sort of foundation for the Supernovas. But at the center of everything, we knew one thing for sure, that we were going to build the Omaha Supernovas into the world's premier professional volleyball organization, competing in the league's globally best league. With that in mind, we turned to Diane. At the time, we were obviously building something that was unprecedented. And when you're looking for somebody to lead an organization like this, it's not something that you can just post on Indeed. It's something that you have to get out into the community, have conversations with respected community leaders, and see who they point to. At the time, I had countless conversations with individuals that had led very prominent institutions here in Nebraska and in the sports world. And on numerous occasions, these individuals, they pointed to Diane. We were looking for, obviously, somebody that had experience in the sports world, somebody that had experience in the volleyball world, and somebody that had experience in the business world. That's not easy to find, especially in that circumstance, in a tight time frame after we'd acquired the franchise. But after meeting with Diane on a Zoom call at the time, it became apparent that we'd found our unicorn. I vividly remember knowing that I had to sell Diane on this opportunity, and most people would perceive it as being a great risk. Obviously, joining a new franchise in a new league and something that had never been done successfully before was a big leap of faith. So I simply shared our vision of what we knew this could become, and I knew right away that Diane saw it as well. I told Diane that, hopefully we're going to look back in 10, 20 years and be really proud of what we've done and be at the forefront of starting what will be the NFL of women's volleyball. A few weeks after that, Diane, she called and she was all in. Since that day, Diane has been all in every step of the way, throughout every challenge with the Supernovas and what we've looked to achieve. She's taken it on head first. She is incredibly well respected by our ownership group, our entire staff, our players, and our fans, and every ounce of that respect has been earned by Diane. So I'm definitely proud to be here today, to be part of the announcement that Diane is going to enter into her next step with the Supernovas as a co-owner and advisor. And we thank you for everything you've done over the past 3 years, because it's nothing short of remarkable. And we know that you're going to play a big part in our future as we continue to make history. In regard to history, I think undoubtedly we've proven under Diane's leadership that this is the #1 professional volleyball team in the world. We've proven that with countless attendance records. We now hold the record for 19 of the top 20 U.S. professional volleyball crowds in history. We've had nearly 300,000 fans and counting attend Supernova home matches right here in the CHI Health Center. And I know, going back to when we were starting this, a lot of people thought we were crazy for announcing this as our home. There were a lot of people that doubted us, and one person that never had a seed of doubt in their mind was Diane. she knew that if we build it, they would come. So on behalf of our ownership group, thank you for everything, for believing in us. And so to keep this going, so Diane, her impact on the organization and on Major League Volleyball and our sport cannot be overstated. What she helped to build here was not only define the Supernovas, but has also fueled the MLV's ascent as the global sport in the global sports landscape. I think that kind of rounds it out for me. But one last thing that I'd like to say in regard to this is that the next step of our organization is obviously going to be led by Amanda here. And the two people standing here beside me, again, we had a lot of conversations. It was a little bit of a flashback from 3 years ago when we were looking for Diane. We were looking for our next unicorn. And they go back. They've known Amanda for decades, and they pointed right at her and said, she's the person that's going to lead us to the next chapter with the Supernovas. And as a former national champion, I know that it's ingrained into our culture, winning. And, if you can win at that level, like these two have, you'll be successful with the Supernovas. Diane has built a culture of excellence here based on what she's learned from her mentors at the University of Nebraska with Terry Pettit and Coach Cook. And I know without a doubt that will be passed on through Amanda as she takes on this role as our next president. And I hope that Amanda shares in that vision 10, 20 years from now that I spoke about with Diane initially, that we can all look back and be really proud of what we built here, knowing that we changed the landscape of women's sports. So with that said, we're proud and we welcome Amanda, and we're grateful beyond our words for everything that Diane has done and will continue to do for this organization. All right, that's it for me.
Jeff, I'm next. So, as you guys know, I was a history major, so we're going to do a little history stuff here. So I can remember 26 years ago, Diane on crutches walking up the stairs to the top of the Coliseum to my office. She was coaching at Concordia and talking about being the first director of ops for Nebraska Volleyball. And it was at, so she was hired, and of course we won a national championship. But not only did she teach me a lot about coaching, managing, speaking, and she's a very talented woman who's done incredible things. And of course, she left volleyball, but I knew her passion for volleyball, how strong it was. She got recruited to go chancellors, ADs, Lincoln Development, Community Development Foundation, all that stuff. But I could tell in her voice when she came back to Supernovas how excited she was to be back in the sport of volleyball. And I've seen how hard she works, how much she's put into this. And that was one of the things that inspired me to want to be involved with the Supernovas. Another interesting thing is we have Amanda and Diane are both small town Nebraska, Western Nebraska. So for the Cowboys out there in Western Nebraska, we've got a lot to be proud of. And not everything just happens here in Omaha and Lincoln. There is stuff in that 308 area code out there. And I want to tell one other story about Amanda. I don't know how many years, let's see, this would have been 19 years ago. It was 19 years. We were right on this court where they're going to play tonight, and we're playing for the national championship. Amanda did not start the match. I put her in because we were struggling. It was against Stanford, and she made a play that literally, I've said this 1,000 times, it won us the national championship match. And it wasn't a big stuff. It wasn't a spike. It was a ball that was served in the net, and it rolled off the net. And she was a middle blocker, so she was closest to the net. And she went down there and got that ball up. We won the rally. The crowd went nuts. And we ended up winning the national championship. So we got a 2000 national championship director of ops here, 2006 national championship player. And the other thing that when we were looking for somebody to take over for Diane, Amanda called me, and this is about 3 or 4 years ago. And she said, I want you to come out and speak at, let me get this right. What's Farmers Credit. Yeah. So I go out to this huge building, and I see what she's doing out there. She's running leadership teams. She's organizing this massive professional day for the company out there. And I was blown away by who she was leading, what she was doing. And again, I just thought, I wasn't surprised, but it planted a seed in my head. Man, she's doing some incredible things. And the cool thing was that I saw a lot of the things that she learned with Nebraska volleyball that she was applying to Farm Credit. And now she gets to bring that back to volleyball and do it here with the Supernovas. So she was a top recruit for us, and we got her signed, sealed, delivered. So congratulations to Amanda, and Diane, congrats, everything. And I know you'll still be around. So
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, the sport keeps drawing you back for some reason. It hooks you in. But thank you, John. Thank you, Kirk, for your very, very kind words. It means the world. And I'm humbled beyond words and tremendously grateful to our owners, especially majority owner Danny White, for his tremendous investment in us. And Kirk Thompson, who has been by my side in the trenches since day one and deserves much of the credit. And John, thank you for jumping on board with us. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
For the little girl from Ogallala, Western Nebraska, where the Cowboys are, right, John?
Yep. A lot of them out there.
This is surreal. I know my dad is beaming down from above, and my mom, who's here with us, and about to turn 92, never misses a match, and critiques the match afterwards sometimes too. They instilled in me and my sisters, Pam and Jenny, Pam's also here, a love of sport. And even though the opportunity didn't exist back then for little girls when we were young, they taught us about what it was to play and compete. And I can hear my dad saying right now, well, look at you, sweetie. Thank you to Danny, Jason, Kirk, John, Ben, and Darpin for this opportunity going forward. When we launched the Supernovas, we were truly building the airplane while we were flying it. We were chasing a dream that had never been successfully realized in the United States. And looking back, I'm incredibly proud of what this organization has become. In May of 23, when I received that Zoom phone call with Kirk asking if I would consider taking on this role, I was really taken aback. I understood what a heavy lift this would be. I just left the university for what I thought was my swan song at the Lincoln Community Foundation, 40 hours a week, no nights, no weekends, holidays off. And as I told my husband, I'm going to be jumping right back into the fire, just like the past 20 years. They were fully supportive, my entire family, as they've been my entire life. And then came a call from Coach Pettit. You have to do this for our sport. And I was in. This was a passion play for me. As I told Coach Pettit, okay, I'll launch this and I'll position it for success, which leads us to today. The Supernovas have arrived and are positioned for success, thus my final season in the role of president. It's time for me to step a few feet back from the fire. And give time to my family, especially my two granddaughters, Everly and Mira. And allow someone, Amanda, to take the Supernovas to the next stratosphere. No pressure there. I'm thrilled to step in the role as co-owner and advisor. Thank you. I remain connected to the Supernovas into perpetuity. Once again, I'm deeply grateful to our ownership for believing in this vision, investing deeply from day one, and trusting us to build something truly major league. I'm extremely thankful to our exceptional front office staff. Thank you, guys. It was a team that did this. The coaches, our human performance team, whose talent, creativity, and relentless work ethic are unmatched in this industry. Truly a dream team. And to the incredible women who have worn the Supernova jersey the past 2 seasons. And this phenomenal group that have the jersey on this season. They've already touched my soul. There's no other group of women, and I told them this last night, there's no other group of women I would rather have for my final season. Back to Kirk's point, none of this would have happened if it hadn't been for my 2 mentors, Terry Pettit and John Cook. What they built at Nebraska, as Kirk mentioned, showed all of us what true excellence, commitment, and a championship culture look like in our sport. Thank you. And lastly, Novas Nation, our season ticket members and our amazing sponsors and teams like Herdet, who have been with us by our side. You jumped in with us and invested in us when we were just pitching what could be. Thank you. Now it's time to look to the future. As always, our ownership group remains committed to do things at the highest level, and they're continuing to invest tremendously in this organization, giving us the opportunity to bring Amanda on now as our special advisor to the president and allowing us to work together throughout this entire season to ensure a seamless transition across every aspect of our organization. I could not be more confident in Amanda. I've known her since she was in high school. She knows what it takes to win. She's lived it. From her success as a Husker to playing professionally, to her experience coaching and working in the corporate business space. As Kirk says, we truly believe that's the perfect combination. She's exceptionally well prepared to lead this franchise. She will guide the Supernovas with tremendous expertise, heart, passion, and drive. And I cannot wait to see where you take us. Amanda, will you please join us?
Have a photo of us.
Amanda, right here.
You want sitting or?
Oops.
Just taking the picture.
Good
Okay.
name.
1, 2, 3.
Everyone good?
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today to share in this special and exciting moment. Nebraska has long been a place where volleyball thrives, where excellence is expected, and where community and passion come together. And the Supernovas represent just that. Stepping into this role is both humbling and energizing. I'm honored to represent this trailblazing league, this remarkable franchise, our incredible athletes, team, and coaches, and the fans who make this team such a powerful force in women's sports. I'm filled with immense gratitude for this opportunity to serve, to lead, and to make an impact with the Supernovas and professional volleyball. From wearing the Husker jersey to competing at the professional level to coaching, volleyball has been instrumental in shaping who I am. And I'm so excited to give back to the sport that has given me so much. And I look forward to building upon the incredible foundation that has been built by so many. So what I have to say today is really being in athletics has been a dream and a passion for me. And I've always envisioned my life in making an impact in this way. God has incredible ways of working, giving us the experiences we need to prepare us for where we are meant to be and when we are meant to be there. And this is one of those moments. There are so many people who have inspired me, influenced me, and helped get me to this moment today. They've believed in me and supported me every step of the way. To my husband, my kids, my parents, and my family, my friends, the many coaches, leaders, mentors, and teammates, I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you. I can't wait to build upon this bright future, one that inspires the next generation, defines new paths for women's sports, and enriches the lives of many. My personal motto is to give nothing less than my best. And Novas Nation, I promise to do just that for you. Thank you for believing in me, in this team, and what we are building for professional volleyball in America. Go Supernovas.
With that said, we will open up to questions.
Diane, when did you know you wanted to make this change?
I think, like I told Coach Pettit, once we got to a point where I felt we were in a great position. And the minute that MLV was launched, and last July, and things were moving, and you could see the trajectory. And then through free agency, when we signed those 13 amazing players, and then bringing in Coach Cook and Luca and his coaching staff. And you started to see, okay, all the pieces are going to be in place. The human performance team, retaining them. And then our front office team, just watching them grow to the level that they're at, said to me too, okay, all the pieces are in place. And the timing may sound unique right now because it's the start of the season, but it's perfect. And here's why it's great: is Amanda can be by my side, gets a peek behind the curtain before it's her time to run the show next January. And so once again, a tribute to our owners for giving us the means to do this, because it doesn't happen. You don't see it in the business world necessarily. You don't see it in professional sports. And so I'm excited about that opportunity. Plus, I'll learn from her as well, along for the ride. So, great question, John Baylor. I think you know how I think. And one comment, I'm just going to interject here. One group I did not think is the media, and every single one of you you're so important to our success, and you need to know that. We watch your broadcasts, we read your articles, and your podcasts, and your broadcasts on TV or the radio, and just know how much we appreciate you. And you're part of our success. You're a huge part of our success. So thank you.
Amanda, it's clear that Omaha and this community have shown support to allow volleyball to be extremely successful here with the Supernovas. Can you speak to your confidence level league-wide and with the model that MLB has that made you want to make this decision to do this, and your belief that it's going to continue to grow?
Yeah, no question about it. I would say this league represents something really special. It sets the standard for what's the best of the best. And what solidifies my experience with making this decision is, have you all been to a match? Have you experienced what it feels like to be a part of this? I always say people do remember what you say to them, but they cherish the way that you make them feel. And when I go to a Supernovas match, you feel something, whether it's the amazing performance on the court, all the gear that you see, all the fans, the atmosphere, the ice cream flavor. It's the whole package. And I can't wait to be a part of that.
Amanda, do you remember that play that Coach Cook talked about?
I do remember that play. It's one of those moments that I can still feel the rush of winning the national championship, but also just that moment of it took our whole team to make that championship happen. And that moment is a moment that's ingrained in my brain too.
Amanda, how much would you have enjoyed an opportunity when you came out of college to have had this kind of a stage to play on?
100% would have loved to be able to play in front of the fans that know me, to be surrounded by my family and the crowds cheering me on, to represent something bigger than myself locally. I had the opportunity to play in Monforte de Lemos, Spain. I'll encourage you all to look up where that is. And it was a great life-changing experience. But if I could have had that here, that would have been so special. And I'm so excited for this next generation that gets to be a part of that has an opportunity to do something they love, full of passion, and continue on and build that success locally or wherever they might want to end up, but they have that opportunity. And that's the most important part.
Hey Amanda, what do you hope to gain most from this year before you officially take over this time next January?
Well, let's be honest, and we've heard it all afternoon, and rightfully so. I have huge shoes to fill. Diane sets the standard of what the best of the best looks like. I just can't wait to soak it all in and learn from her, but also to learn from this amazing front office staff, all of our coaches, what Nova Nations wants. Like, what does that look like? Let's just soak it all in. And I think that's really what I'm hoping for. But one thing I've learned already, everything's intentional. Everything we do on the court to in the community, there's a reason behind that. And that's to set us up for long-term success.
Piggybacking off of Mitch's question there, with your 1 year that you played overseas, what are some of the lessons that you learned from playing pro volleyball in Europe that you hope to bring here to the U.S. in a management role?
That's interesting. The question, thinking about my experience, it was when the economy was not doing well. And so just the fact of getting paid was like a bonus piece of that experience. And so the fact that we set up our team with resources and the ability to have a normal life on top of getting to do something they love, how awesome. That's the most exciting thing that I hope to continue to build. And you heard that from Kirk. NFL is something we want this to be like. Can we get there? I really believe we can.
Hey John, how surreal is it just to have a former player now of yours now in this role with you? And could you have ever imagined like that things would lead to where you are today? No,
this is all surreal. I just want to give Diane a hard time. It's not easy to get up here and give a retirement speech, is it? But as you guys remember, I talked about the highlight of my coaching career is seeing how many of our players are in leadership positions, coaching positions. Danny, Lindsay, Maggie Griffin, just here in Nebraska. Now Amanda going to be running Supernovas. This is what made it all worth it. Minus, forget the wins and losses and all that. This is what it's all about. And I think it's a super proud moment for Nebraska volleyball. And the fact that Amanda is from Columbus, Nebraska. I never knew where Columbus was till I went and recruited her there. And anyway, this is the dream. It plants a seed for a lot of young girls in this state. Like look at what can happen. Doesn't matter where you're from.
Amanda, just piggybacking off of what Coach Kirk just said, what would be your message to that next generation and the young girls that are going to see this today and want to be a Supernova at some point?
Yeah, I'm going to use some of Coach Cook's words, dream big. That is something that has been instilled in me, but I'll go back to work hard when nobody's watching. That is the piece when you can stand out because you give it your all and you max out. That's what you should be doing when no one's watching, when the cameras aren't there, when nobody's there to cheer you on. Have that dream internally and find that fire to be the best that you can be, because that's what it's supposed to be about. Being your best, giving it your all, and then good things happen.
John, you touched on it for a little bit with Amanda. Why is she the right person to carry on for Diane?
Well, it helps. She's a Husker. She's from the state. Again, I try to follow our players after they graduate. And anyway, when I had the chance to see what she was doing at Farm Credit, I mean, I walked out there, was blown away. And were you a captain? I can't remember.
I was.
You were. Okay. So there you go. There's where it happens. She becomes captain. She's a captain at Nebraska volleyball. Allows her to take all that she learned, and she goes to Farm Credit, and she's putting on, literally, it was a coaching clinic for people that work at Farm Credit, and leadership and team building and building culture. I mean, that was the whole theme of the whole day, and I got a chance to go, speak for an hour there and share some things, but that stayed with me. I like, wow, that was really impressive. And so when all this started happening, I told Diane right away. I said, we got to talk to Amanda. So it was, I mean, literally it was that quick. So, so I think she's earned this opportunity with what she's been doing. And then you got to look, she's doing all this, raising 4 great kids over here. Look at these guys.
Hey Diane, have you thought, I mean, I'm sure you have, but what do you want this kind of like retirement tour or final season for you to be like? What do you want to gain from this year or reflect on most?
That's a great question. There's so many things, once again, taking this franchise to the next level. It's a whole new season. It's a whole new team. And as I mentioned before, this coaching staff is unbelievable. It's such a great addition. And the players, the amazing women that make up this team and the culture, it's something that I don't think I've ever witnessed at this level. To see just the selfless dedication to each other and culture. And I think I'm most excited about what's going to happen at 7:00 tonight and what's going to happen every single match day. And just to see the community and just to watch this thing grow is probably what I'm looking most forward to. And teaming up with Amanda.
Diane, to follow up on that, in the 2+ years that you've been around these players who have come through the Supernovas, how have you seen their belief in this product and what they think the potential is for not just the Supernovas but for pro volleyball in America to be? How have you seen that grow and their confidence that they're a part of something big continue to evolve since 2023?
That's a great question, Mitch. And I'm looking at Nancy here, and I remember the conversation with Nancy. I can't remember where you were playing in Turkey, and I don't know if you got your final paycheck. But those women that first year that made up that first team, some of them took pay cuts, but they wanted to play in the United States, and they took a leap of faith to be part of that team. And you saw that appreciation, and I think the appreciation just continues to grow. And where we see in our players is in the appearances. When we offer the opportunity for them to go to a club and just interface with the young girls, or it's going to a retirement home, or participating in a parade, or visiting a library, doing those appearances where it's helping promote our brand and our interaction with the community. And when you just see them say, we have too many volunteers, typically. And I think that's what you see is these women are invested in this, and the opportunity for this to go forward, they see themselves as pioneers. And it's really refreshing to see how they're in it just as thick as we are. And this will be the NFL someday soon. And Kirk did say that to me, just so you know. He did say, Diane, just take yourself back. This is like the start of the NFL. And that was the statement that got me.
Hey, man, how full circle is it for you just teaming up with John again, just given that you played for him back in college?
to team up with both of these individuals is truly just, I'm so humbled by this experience. I mean, Coach Cook has seen the best of me, the worst of me. We've been through a lot together, and we did really great things together. We also share the same birthday, fun fact. So there's a special bond there, and I just have appreciated his initial belief in me to do something so big and playing for something greater than myself at Nebraska, and to continue that relationship. I'm very humbled by it. And Diane has just been a mentor that has been there. Our paths have crossed in our professional lives many times, and I also know her daughter Allie very well. And so it feels full circle for me to have this moment right now and to be surrounded by people that I could have asked for better support right now.
I got a sappy question, Coach. You talk about the national championship here. I also think about 2008 here, one of the great matches Nebraska volleyball history, which we're not the way we're going into. But the week prior, there's the win against Washington and the iconic photo, a photo that was on certainly my daughter's bedroom walls. And there's Amanda, and there's Caleb Banworth right next to her. And here you are teaming up with two former players to lead this enterprise so that pro volleyball becomes what we all want it to be. How does that feel?
Well, like I said, it's the highlights, and I hope we keep having more moments like this because, and like Amanda said, I've seen the best and worst in these guys. And of course, I hired Kayla, who's, you know, was she coach of the year? I think she might have been coach of the year last year. Yeah. And I don't know. It's just a proud dad. And, you know, and the other thing, you know, I get when Diane says, you know, I want to be with my grandkids. I mean, I get that now too. And so this is all cool, and we're going to all work together. But I'm really, really proud. And but I'm not surprised that these guys are doing great things. And again, you know, you got Danny down there, a great season. And, you know, I look at, again, I mentioned Maggie Griffin, getting ready to build another facility. She's already outgrown her first one. So, I mean, this is somebody who wanted to be on Miracle Mile in a financial office, you know, in Chicago. And she comes back to Nebraska and is doing great things. So I just think all these guys are contributing to helping build, and what I've seen over the years, how much volleyball is growing. And the Pro League now is at the top of that. And we got Huskers at all levels. So it's pretty cool.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for being here, you guys.
Thank
This is
y'all.
awesome.
Yeah.